have to remember and edit this later as well now. Okay. Actually, maybe not a bit like because I distracted myself. So, which I would do anyway. But no, Charlie, man, I'll actually slice this in because you're not the first time you ever make it for YouTube, you're not going to be smooth or charming. And you're not even going to be. You would have had something in mind. You would have vision. I'll use the beginning of that. What was that subject in mind? And slice this in. Was really important. Don't do sub for sub, which is if you subscribe to my channel, I'll subscribe to your channel. I have noticed that people in the comment section will, if you say sub me, I'll sub you, I'm fast. Don't do sub for sub. It's a dead end street. It is a dead end street. Now, your levels of success. I was going to say, other people were not interested in their channel and what success means to you. And what was I saying? And in your first video, which probably went for maybe 5 minutes, how do you define success in your mind? How do you define what now? But what does success mean to you? Success to myself. What you're going to do is first time I uploaded, felt successful. It took me 10 times from a camera before I started motivation for that. If you remember, your passion in the first video may have said a little bit about probably you being cornered. How do you feel about it? Have you resonate? You know, have you continued? Because what happened when I was starting out, the first videos that and I pressed record. What happens on YouTube, and I've seen this a lot. What happens on YouTube is you feel that, and it's not about just wanting to do it. So, good spirit, good vibration, resonate. Because what happens is occasionally that I go, there's a few people and this is and I'm conveying my intention. I'm conveying an intention, and just by what happens is it. But I never ever do this out of curiosity. I've done this a few times. I've gone to a lot of the. They always go into those to watch their comments, and so out of curiosity. And also in a way to potentially find people that I can whose channels I can support, far and few in between. Now, I've had a look at them. A few videos of interest in the 80s and Space Invaders and Donkey Kong and there was a really good one called Another World. I digress greatly. 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and what happens? They've got them, and there's no action. They've got what have they got? I'll tell you what they got. It stops. It actually stops. They've got videos. The flow stopped. They stopped the balls, and then they're like, oh, okay, and then they're like, oh, and it's because I absolutely believe in what I'm easily distracted with, and I keep thinking, however, now, it's about inspiration. You have to have, before you started your channel, you would have had imaging and picturing in your head your vision and your success. And what happens is things on YouTube, they trend things. There's popular things on YouTube, trending things on YouTube, but they have a limited lifespan. And what happens with a lot of beginners, I've noticed that and all of a sudden there's no actions. There's no momentum. It stops. You're like, well, what happened? So it ends up being with now. before you had a vision, filming in your head. You were perhaps filming in your head for a couple of weeks. You could have been filming in your head for a couple of months. And you envisioned this. You had a particular. So what subject did you? What your first video for YouTube need to go for about 5 minutes. And you should use shortcut. You should spend about 30 minutes editing it at the very most, and then you put it up. Then you put it up. Talked about something for 5 minutes, and it might not. This is the subject I am. It's ironic because years before that, I might talk about this another time. A decade before that, I did heaps of extra work. I was in the theatre years before. Some theatre years before that, and I did a lot of extra work on films and TV. And so YouTube's the complete opposite. Whereas, and some people. And so you probably conveyed, the best video for YouTube is just gonna, and you look back and think. And also, I thought of this thing because this is the standard Sony camera, standard Sony. There's nothing special about it. It cost me $70 from Kmart, and if you're in America, that would be about $50 at Walmart. Now, right? And then I think back of it, yeah, okay. So, so what happened was, and also record every day. You've got to be really passionate about that every day. You know that you'll get the big success. It's something that you're passionate about. You got something to contribute. There's something, even if it's eccentric, whatnot, whatever. And so, of course, and record regularly. Okay, so record every day. Get used to and get used to watching yourself, and it's a little bit of ego in there. Everybody's got a little bit of ego in there. You know, you got to be confident. Confidence is good. Record do that, and remember your vision. Remember your goal. Get that fire burning inside. Your spirit good. Get your resonation up. Get that flowing. Oh yeah, get that flowing. And you'll probably be thinking to yourself now, I've filmed a couple of times by now, and you might make the camera your friend. And just think about it, like you film for 2 months. Just say for the next 2 months you film every day, which pretty much is what I did when I was starting out. Because I was incredibly excited to be doing it. I was so excited to do it. Film every day. You're going to in this subject, and also. Some people tell you to organise a script, that you need to use a script. I've never used a script. The only time I read from something is when I'm reading my poetry, because I kind of like to improvise a bit, somewhat, and I have touched on that a little bit. I've touched on those things. I've touched on those things because I got sort of hooked on reading out some poetry, and I was kind of been on that. I kind of a bit of motivation here and there to be speak about. Well, now how to speak about it, because I've been doing this for a little while now. I've been over a year, and I have seen the other. I guess I am, and I've seen the other beginners because I've been curious about them from time to time. But people fall off YouTube. They fall off YouTube because they don't have any motivation. Motivation comes from you. They've stopped because they somehow they found it difficult to maintain momentum. Believe in yourself before you even start. So, I love my channel. I'm successful. When did my success start? The night I uploaded my first video to YouTube is the night that my success is the time. That's when my success, because I actioned it. Action. I did a tremendous amount of filming, backlog, like about a year. Oh, I probably thought we were going to merge together at some point because I've had my channel for a year and a half now, right? Love my channel. Love it. Think it's terrific. I had faith in my channel before I started anyway, and it's right, and